Hi everyone, and welcome back to Sonya's Prep, where I share my Orthodox Jewish life, kosher meal preps, my motherhood journey, and organization. And in this week's video, I wanted to take you along and show you how I organize my ultimate kosher pantry and give you a tour of it. So come along as I clean, declutter, and organize it. We have just recently moved into a new house, and the kitchen pantry is something that I have been procrastinating in completing because of how overwhelming it was for me to tackle. I knew it was going to take me a lot of time to declutter, clean, and organize it, which quite honestly, I was dreading. I feel like so many of us have that one space in our house that we keep pushing off because of how overwhelming it looks to us. Let me know in the comments down below what that space is for you, and hopefully this video is going to motivate you to tackle it. Hopefully we can roll up our sleeves together and get this done. As you can see, I do have some set boxes for snacks, and I do have organizational items and systems in place, but they were not perfect and they didn't really do a great job. So my goal today was to just make everything look as best as I possibly can. And now that we've been here for a few months and most of the house is completely set up, I'm finally ready to pick up my sleeves and tackle my ultimate kosher pantry and show you just how I did it all. I'll show you the systems and organizers I used, and then also give you a tour of my kosher pantry and show you what it means to have a kosher pantry. Now let's get prepping. To get started, I clear everything off the shelves one by one. This just ensures that I can see the space that I am working with. I decided to start with my lowest shelf because it has the most bulkiest items, and I didn't want that to be sitting around in the kitchen while I'm decluttering and organizing the pantry. So I moved my way up after I did that bottom shelf. I had a lot of little things that I had to move back and forth from the pantry into the kitchen, and I found that using either a cutting board or a baking tray really helped transport everything over, so that's a helpful tip for you. Step 2 is to clean and declutter. So I removed my old shelf liners. They were the sticky kind. When I originally purchased this, I thought they were non-stick. So I wanted to get rid of them. I cleaned and dusted and broomed the shelves so they could be all nice and clean for all of the new items to go into it. And now that the pantry is clean and empty, I put up these under-shelf wire baskets. They optimize my pantry space so well. I highly recommend them, and I'll have them linked in the description box below. And anything that I'll be using here today, I have linked for you in the description box so you can easily access it. And after I placed in those wire baskets, I lined all the shelves with the shelf liners, which just ensures that the shelves will stay nice and clean. The next step is to place like items together, and as you can see, there is stuff everywhere, and this is what was the most overwhelming part for me. But truthfully, the most overwhelming part is just to get started because you psych yourself out. So once I already got into the zone and I saw all of this mess, I knew I had to finish it. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but we do have a large family, Baruch Hashem, and we do host a lot. So I'm going to be tackling this now. I use this wire basket that I got from Home Goods that I've shown you in my previous video as my overflow or miscellaneous box. I love that things are contained in here, which makes the pantry look so much more organized and so much more sleeker because things are just in one location and they're not just thrown around all throughout the pantry. Now it's time to put away all of my bulky items like my stand mixer, and I try to place it in a way where I can easily reach it, and you'll see that I keep moving this around from place to place until I finally find the perfect spot for it. I also put away my sugar and rice containers. I love that these are glass, airtight, and they look so beautiful in the pantry. The large wire baskets go in next that are filled with my kids' snacks and crackers and cookies. And I then generally place in my organizational systems and organizers all throughout the pantry to get an idea of where things will go. You can see I use a lot of 3-tiered organizers and wire racks that just elevates the space and optimizes my pantry space so much more, and it's just an affordable way to make your pantry have a gorgeous look without breaking the bank. And now comes the fun part of putting everything back into the pantry. I place things that expire the latest all the way in the back and the things that expire the quickest all the way in the front so I can use that up much quicker. I generally place like items together to keep things even more organized and functional. While making this video, it was very important for me to make a practical looking pantry and not one of those Pinterest kinds that are full with so much junk and so much chocolates and desserts that I would never bring to my house and display it like that. They do look gorgeous, those pantries, but I feel like it is so impractical for a large family to have. So I hope you guys appreciate this practical pantry tour, and if you do, please let me know in the comments down below. And as you can see, I'm using this Lazy Susan for my barbecue sauces. It's just great for any dips or dressings or sauces that you have in the kitchen, and it optimizes the corner spaces of any pantry so well. This Lazy Susan is a part of the home edit system from Walmart, which I love, and I'm going to have a link down below for you as well. I've decanted a lot of my pasta boxes and placed them into these sleek OXO containers. It just makes a beautiful visual appeal to your pantry. Of course, I couldn't do it for everything because it just adds up, but slowly, hopefully, I'll add more to my collection. There are some containers from the Walmart's Home Edit collection, which I love. They are so sturdy and so great. And I'm going to be basically decanting a lot of our bars and placing them into these containers. It's just a beautiful way to display things that you could visually see inside of your pantry. And now that I'm finally done organizing my snack bins, I'm going to be placing everything back into the pantry. So as you can see, I have designated sections in my pantry by categories. Here is the snack nook for my breakfast bars and chips and cookies for my kids. And I placed them low enough for my kids to be able to have easy access to them when they're packing their snacks for school or for camp. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. In the corner there, I have my pasta section with these compact OXO containers. All of the sauces and dressings are organized together. And next is the baking section with the sugar, cake mixes, and different spreads. I then have a large variety of canned goods, as you see, that I have organized all together. And these are things that I use most often in the pantry, so I place them at eye level. And next to the canned goods, I have my overflow of spices that I store on these 3-tiered organizers, which are so convenient. They are just here when I need to refill my kitchen spices, because I do have a whole section of my organized spices in my kitchen, which I am completely in love with. All the way at the tippy top, I have a box of candy that I don't want my kids to get a hold of, so I place it really far away from them. And on the top as well, I have my staple items like toilet paper, tissue cups, and napkins. And I did want to bring down the paper goods so I could create a whole separate nook for all of those paper goods. And here it is. I have my paper plates, my hot cups and napkins, everything that my kids can easily access. Now you're probably wondering what makes a pantry kosher or not kosher. Kosher simply means that our food has been certified to ensure that what we are eating is made in accordance with our dietary laws. For example, we don't eat milk and meat together, and we don't consume things like pork and shellfish. There's obviously a lot more details to it, but this is just the simplified version. Each food item that we buy has a kosher symbol, like the ones I'm going to be showing you here. They have different types of symbols. There's an OU or a K, and some of them write that they're dairy or parv, and P for Passover. So you'll see different symbols here that I'm going to be pointing at that just signifies to us that it is kosher certified for us to be able to consume them. I also do have an in-kitchen small pantry, which I love. I just keep things on hand there that I use on a daily basis, like flour, sugar, rice, so I don't have to go and run to the main pantry that I have off to the side of my kitchen. I did show a little bit of it in my previous videos, but I'm going to give you the full tour of it next week when I do my full Orthodox kosher kitchen tour for you. And if you have any questions about that tour that you want me to address, then leave your comments down below. I know this might not be, again, like a Pinterest version of the perfect pantry, but I do feel that it is very, very practical for a family. And if you agree with me, then leave me a comment down below saying that you do so. Thank you again so much for joining me, and I hope that you truly enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some motivation to tackle the things that you need to in your home. Happy prepping from my family to yours.